Hi, welcome to my second annual projects update video. Now, over a year ago, shortly after I started this YouTube channel, I put out a video where I went over all the projects I owned, and on top of that, all the tools I have and stuff. This is going to be an annual series. I do want to do one of these videos every year. However, from here on out, it's going to be a lot different because that video not only was an introduction to all my projects, but also kind of an introduction to me. But I don't have to worry about that because I already did all that. So in this video, I'm going to go over all the stuff I've already talked about, just give an update on what's changed since then. Not to spoil anything, but not a lot has changed. And then I'll go over all the new stuff I've acquired since then. And I spent a lot of money in the last year. So let's get started. So this video is going to be a little different from last year's. Instead of going to each location and showing what I have there, I'm just going to bounce around and show everything I have in the order that I got it. And then at the end of the video, I'll show all the new stuff I got since the last video. Anyways, first up is my 2012 GMC Terrain. This car is still currently my daily driver, although I haven't really been driving it that much. I'll get to why in a little bit. This thing hasn't really let me down yet. I still never got around to actually fixing the rust on it. And it is getting worse, but I'll get on that this year for sure. I haven't started this up in a while. It's currently just shy of 93,000. Yeah, this thing, it needs a little bit of work. Once I get the work I wanted to get done, I'll probably start driving it again, although I will probably start looking for a new daily driver sometime soon. I actually don't plan on getting rid of this thing, but the closer it gets to 100,000, the more I'm like, I don't like putting miles on it. And I've had this for a little over 4 years now, so I am kind of ready for something different. But to be considered an upgrade, with how low the mileage is on this thing, I do want something that would be lower mileage. So my standards are kind of high. So until I find a really good deal on something, I probably will keep driving this. But yeah, hopefully I get to all this thing's issues pretty soon. Although I do have a lot of other stuff to do before this, so I guess we'll see. Here I got my 68 Massey Ferguson 10 horse. This was the first vehicle in general, I think, that I ever revived. This has been in the family since the 80s. My grandfather had this, and then my dad had it, and now I have it. This sat in a shed. I'm not sure how long, but it was pretty close to 20 years, I'd say. Sadly, since the last projects update video I made, I've only really used this once to plant grass. And thinking about it, that might have been in 2024, so there's a chance I haven't even used this at all. I did put a new drive belt on it. This is the belt that goes from something in there to the engine. I still need to replace the one going to the transaxle, but I haven't really had a use for this lately, so I haven't worried about it. I would have a use for this because I actually have a snowblower for this, and I would like to use it, but I know it's going to be such a pain to get it attached. I actually had it on there before, but by the time I was done putting it on, it literally stopped snowing. I got it on there and it never snowed again that year. So I'm hoping maybe next year I'll get it on, but I'll get it on in like August or something like that. I was going to this year, but I've had too many other projects, so I just never really got around to it. Here's my 2002 white LT 135, I believe. This is exactly how it was in the last projects update video. Basically, my girlfriend's family gave this to me for free, and I was just going to say screw it and restore it and basically use it as something to practice a full, garden tractor restoration on. But the thing is, and this goes for pretty much all my projects, I haven't really had time for it. I don't know how long ago I did this. I did steal some parts off of other mowers. I got these side covers off of an Ace Hardware mower I got. And then this was off of, I think, a friend's mower that he was just going to part out, basically. This is just a muffler cover. This thing actually would be a decent little backup mower because I do have a deck for it, but I just haven't had time. This became such a low priority thing that I actually stole the carburetor off of it for a different project. I ended up not needing it, and I got it back, I think, but I never put it on, and I'm not really sure where I put it. Don't worry, the jet ski isn't mine. Right here, I got this snapper mower I got like 3 years ago. Still haven't done anything with it. I do want to restore it. I probably will still do that because that could be something I could knock out in a weekend. I might make it a main channel video. I might not. We'll see. My little John Deere. Still have done absolutely nothing with this. So right here, I got my Ace Hardware mower. This is like a 97, I think. This was going to be a race mower project, but I quit working on it. I don't know why. I think I just got other priorities. I had this cleaned up pretty good. I had it running decent. I did start recording a video on this, but for some reason I got frustrated with something and just deleted all the footage. I actually started on a video and it was really bad. I was using a cheap GoPro knockoff in it. was recording like 2 frames a second, and it just kind of killed all my motivation. So I deleted all that footage, and I'll just do it off camera. I did do like a speed test on like a little track I set up, and I was gonna, you know, modify it and then see how much faster I got it, but I kind of dropped that. Like I said, I don't really know exactly why I quit working on this. I think I just got other priorities. And then I have that other race mower project, which I actually started working on that instead. And I don't really know why. Maybe it's because I figured this one was just going to be kind of like a stepping stone or something. Because I wasn't really going to do anything special with this besides just a pulley swap. And maybe I thought the Ranch King would be more fun. I know I had a better reason than that, but I don't really remember why. I also had parts for this thing sitting in front of the Ranch King. So maybe I was going to work on both of them around the same time. But yeah, I'll get to this at some point because this one actually does run and drive. So at some point, I 100% will pulley swap this. And then what I'll do with that afterwards, I have no clue. I got really into racing mowers, the whole idea of that, and I helped a friend out with a lot of them. But now that I'm like older and I have an actual source of income, my focus is more set on actual vehicles. So stuff like this isn't as interesting to me anymore. However, I also haven't really worked on anything like this in a while. So I feel like if I got into it, I would enjoy it a lot more. But I just have more important stuff to do right now, so it will be a bit before I get to this. But besides all the bigger projects, this thing probably will be a higher priority than a lot of the stuff I have. Then I got a bunch of other push mowers that are all just really shitty. These I was going to tie into that video with all the two-stroke stuff, but honestly, I might just make this its own little second channel thing. Right here, I got I think it's a 1966 Solex. This was also given to me by my girlfriend's family. It's pretty rough, but I was going to restore it. I know when I got it like 3 years ago, I was working on it a little bit. The engine was stuck, but whenever I get to this, I feel like it would be a pretty cool restoration. On my to-do list, this is pretty high up the list besides all the bigger projects. But yeah, one day, full restoration. Here I got my 2007 Roketa Bermuda. This thing is actually so hard to find information on it that if you Google 2007 Roketa Bermuda, a picture of mine literally shows up. I got this for like $80 at an auction a couple years ago. I gave it a really shitty paint job, and then I fell in love with it and kind of wish I put more effort into it. Last time I worked on this, I was in the process of replacing the front brakes because one day I walked out to it and all the brake fluid was just on the ground. I could not get fluid to flow from there to there. So I just said, screw it. I don't know how old that stuff is, so I just got all the components for the front brakes. I got this whole assembly. I got new brake hose, new caliper. I actually had to buy this twice because the first time I bought it, the picture they used for the online listing was this upside down. So it looked like it was a right side one, but it was actually a left side one, which is not the right one. I'm pretty sure I ordered the correct one. I don't remember where I put it. I'm currently sitting at a little over 4,000 kilometers, so this thing's actually pretty low mileage. I haven't worked on this in a few months, and the reason why is because it's winter. I'm recording this in January. I'm not going to be taking this out for a few months, so I figured I'll just put my time into other stuff for now because it's just going to sit. I actually am working on a video for this thing. I don't know when it's going to be out. I was going to go through and fix every tiny thing wrong with it, but I might just chip away at it a little bit at a time. So I don't know when that video is going to come out, but it will at some point. I still got to finish putting the panels on. I got another mirror I got to wire up. You know, there's the whole brake system issue. It's due for a couple services, like an oil change, stuff like that. The lock and key hardware set I got, this one for the seat wasn't right. The cable couldn't reach it. So I glued that in and I just leave the cable dangling. I wanted to fix that. But yeah, just a bunch of little stuff. Funny enough, with how low the mileage is on this thing, I actually do try to daily this as long as the weather's nice. But I didn't really take it anywhere at all in 2025 just because it had no front brakes. But whenever I get that fixed, I'll probably take this everywhere I need to go as long as it's not that far away and the weather's nice enough. Because this thing actually is fully road legal. You can get it up to highway speeds, but I never got a title for it. And I don't know if I want to go through the whole process and get a title for it because I've just been putting ORV stickers on it. And with those ORV stickers, I can drive this anywhere I want to as long as it's not a state highway. And it would be nice to be able to do that so I won't have to take really weird long routes to get somewhere that's relatively close. But I also don't really want to take this on a highway with a bunch of traffic. But this is really fun to ride around. I'm really hoping I can get this out when the weather's nice. Update! It's taken me so long to record this video that I've started working on the video for this thing. It's got new brakes now. And I realized recently that the kickstart works, which I, for some reason, didn't think it did. It's a little cold-blooded. This video is probably going to take a little longer to come out just because there's a lot of stuff I got to do to it, and I'm probably just going to chip away at it a little bit every now and then. So this, like a lot of the videos I'm working on right now, are going to be recorded over the course of probably a whole year at this point. I did just get an ORV tag for it, so I actually probably will try to ride this around almost daily, honestly, as long as, you know, I don't have to go on highways, because legally I can't. But all the little stuff, you know, I'll just, you know, it's okay that you got to pull a little dangly cable to get the seat open. It adds character. It makes it more unique. But you also got to push the cable back in. There we go. Notice how I have way more energy right now than I did last time I recorded this section for this video. Really goes to show how my enthusiasm kind of comes and goes every day. It's probably because it's actually like warmer out, because, you know, it's taken me like 4 months to record this video for some reason. Right here, I got the 1990 Ranch King. I'm not really too sure how much I've ever really talked about this, but it is supposed to be like a racing mower project. I was just going to do a pulley swap, but I was also going to repaint it, put a bunch of fun stuff into it. But then I started getting actual vehicles, and that kind of took over. This was actually my top priority for a short time. I do have some video recorded on this thing, but I'm not sure how much, and I'm also not sure if I still have it, because I specifically remember recording this thing, but I have no clue where any of that footage is, so I might have just deleted it after I knew it would probably be a long time before I get back to this again. Because all I really did was took the transaxle out, and that's kind of all it is. And that transaxle might be blown. So there's a chance that this thing is just going to get sent off to an auction. But I guess we'll see. My John Deere snowmobile. Last year, I was hoping to get this running before winter. I pulled this into the shop and then had absolutely no time to work on it, and then had to pull it out of the shop to put something else in there. And then I was hoping to get it done this year, and I know that's not going to happen. Maybe next year? I don't know. I don't have time anymore. Same thing with that Cub Cadet 76. I want to get that running and restore it and kind of paint it like the Spirit of 76 Cub Cadet. Could be maybe like a little thing I could bring to tractor shows or whatever. But again, I haven't had time to work on it, and I probably won't for a while. My Sierra. So last year I had this in my projects update video, and I mentioned how the next video would be a video on this. And the next video it wasn't meant to be me working on anything. It was kind of a throwaway video, but I just kind of walked around, showed off the truck, showed what needed to be done with it. And here's the fun thing. When I did that video, that was the last time I actually did anything to this truck. Literally, I turned the camera off, and I haven't been back to this truck since then. And just like everything else, it's just been because I haven't had time to work on it. This was going to be my top priority, but then I got caught up with another thing I was going to do, and then I bought another project, which will probably be even higher than this one, just because it's a lot less work. Because this one, I still got to, you know, fix the engine. I don't know if there's really anything to fix, but that's kind of the thing. I don't know, so that's kind of what's going to add a lot of time into this. I did want to pull the heads off just to make sure there was no damage, and in the meantime, you know, throw new head gaskets in it, but also maybe even completely rebuild the top ends, like throw some valve seals in there, stuff like that. But whenever I do get the time for this will be a pretty cool truck. I do really like it, but you know, just gotta fix it. So in my shop, I have a bunch of two-stroke stuff. Now, all of that is gonna have its own video. I started on that almost a whole year ago, and I still never finished that video just because all this stuff is a pain in the ass to work on. Not only is it kind of boring and really repetitive, but also sometimes they just don't want to run. You could throw a brand new carburetor on it, brand new spark system, the compression could be amazing, and it still just won't run. So I kind of got burnt out. I think I got like 3 of them done. I sold one. I just got burnt out, and I haven't really worked on it for a long time. This workbench setup I got here, it still has a carburetor taken apart on it. I have no clue what that's out of. It's been so long. That was going to be a second channel video, but because of how much work is going into it, I already have like 25 minutes of footage edited, and I wasn't even close to halfway done yet. So it's going to be a pretty lengthy video that's just really boring. But since I already put so much effort into making that video, I'm probably just going to upload it at some point and get all the 20 views on it. I got my Honda PA50. Once again, still haven't had time to do anything to this. It would be kind of fun to ride this around every now and then, but with like the frame being bent on it, I'm not too sure how easy that's going to be. Worst case scenario, my dad has another PA50. Parts for these aren't super easy to find all the time, so, you know, at the very least, this could be a parts vehicle. I mean, I only did pay less than $200 for it. Right here, I got my 85 Suzuki Quadsport, I think. This I technically got for $75. I paid $100 for this and a little scooter thing. I haven't done anything with it at all. I put it in here, and that's it. Once again, I do want to actually use this, but with how many bigger projects I've gotten since I got this one that take up higher priority, I kind of can't. I don't know if I've really mentioned this, but the way I kind of sort projects I work on is in order that I got it. So right now, if I want to decide what project should I prioritize, I'll go for the one I've owned for the longest time. However, vehicles, like road legal vehicles and things I could get a lot of use out of, automatically get a higher priority. So while I did just get this like last year or something like that, it will be kind of a higher priority because I could really use a quad right now. However, it's also below all the vehicles, which I will get to in a bit because there's kind of a lot of them right now. And then right here's the scooter I got with it. Still haven't done anything to it. A common theme with me. I don't even know if I talked about this in my last projects update video, but I got this scooter on an auction back in January 25 for like $4. It works. It didn't come with a charger, but I bought a charger for it and it works. It's just the throttle thing, whatever the heck, doesn't work. So you can't really ride it around. It would be kind of cool to keep, but where I live, I would have absolutely no use for this. If I lived in town, this would be nice just to take on the sidewalk or whatever. But I'm not in that scenario where that would be an option. So I'm probably just going to fix it and put it for sale somewhere. It's two bicycles. I mentioned in my last project update video, I kind of wished I didn't get these, and I still kind of wish I didn't get them. I'm probably still going to put time into them and sell them, but I'm going to kind of have to force myself to do it. Guess I should explain why I was so excited about that. So last year I mentioned how there's this dirt pile and I wanted to get rid of it, and funny enough I was really excited for what it involved. The video I'm planning soon has something to do with this dirt pile. Believe it or not, it's probably one of the things I'm most excited for. Well, that never happened. Basically all I was going to do, I was going to get rid of the dirt pile and start like a little garden here. And to do that, I was going to revive like an old diesel tractor with a rototiller, but I never really had time to do that. I did record a little bit of that video, and then I also recorded myself cutting down a bunch of branches around this area. I would still like to do that, but based on how things are going, not only with the amount of projects I have, but just kind of in life in general, I don't know if I'll really get to that this year or not. I would like to. Realistically, it wouldn't be too much work. It's just the whole thing of having a garden to constantly take care of while I'm also dealing with a bunch of other stuff. We'll see. All right, well, that's it for the stuff that's already been on the channel. Now, before I get into the new stuff I want to go over a couple things. Just stuff that I don't necessarily own, but I know they'll probably show up at some point. Like this truck. This is a 1997 F250. I know this has shown up in a couple videos. I think this showed up in the first video I did on the terrain. Took this into town to get parts for my car, and that happened. We put a lot of work into this truck. It was supposed to kind of just be a winter beater, but then we put all the work into it. We went through and painted the entire frame. Because of that, it kind of hurts to drive it in the winter now, so it's been parked all winter. I realized I didn't grab my keys, but this thing's only got like 95,000 miles on it, which you don't really see too often with these trucks, especially now with how the market is on these. A couple years ago, people started asking insane amounts of money for these trucks, especially the Power Strokes. And some people were stupid enough to actually pay that much money. And now everyone thinks they're worth that much. But this one wasn't too terrible. So this is a 2015 Cub Cadet XT2. This is basically my main lawnmower, nothing too interesting. The first mini projects video I made, like half of it was just this thing. I mowed for the last time for the season and then did an oil change, and everything's just been kind of sitting in here. I kind of wanted to take the deck off and clean it off and maybe even spray underneath it with some kind of rust reformer before spraying, but I don't know if I'll have time, although it probably wouldn't even take that long. It's currently only sitting at 150 hours, so it doesn't have much use on it. And then this is the other main mower, mainly for just like the bigger grass areas. I think it's a 2004. This thing's pretty beefy. I don't use this for the entire yard just because it weighs a lot and it's also harder to get into smaller spaces. But like I said, for the bigger grass areas, this is what I use. Once again, I just used it for the last time of the season and then it's just been parked in here. This one's got 733 hours on it. Now, obviously, if these things show up at any point, it's probably just going to be in a mini projects video because like they're not really projects. If I'm working on these, it's just regular maintenance stuff. That's about it for these. The other thing I wanted to mention was this right here. I think this is an 87 Suzuki Samurai. I believe my grandfather bought this at some time in the 90s, and then it sat under a tree for like 30 years. Back at the end of 2020, my dad and I revived it, and it's been a pretty fun car. The odometer's reading 50,000, and I know that's been rolled over at some point, but I also don't know how many miles this actually has. Because after running a history report on it, I realized that the odometer was rolled back. It went from somewhere over 100,000 in the early 90s, maybe like 120,000, and then all of a sudden it just dropped to 89,000. Unless that was 189,000. If that's the case, and this thing's got like 250,000 on it, which I can't imagine that's the case. According to the odometer, it would have about 150,000. And I don't know if that's really the case either, because that's a lot of miles for a little car like this. Like, you got to think someone drove it this much. That's a lot of driving in this thing that barely gets up to speed limit. So how many miles does it have? I don't know. I don't think I'll really be working on this. And same thing with that truck. Like, I don't imagine these will have their own main channel video, but maybe just little things on the second channel, whatever. But I also thought I'd explain, what my relation to them is, because I know they're going to show up in future videos, even if they're just in the background. And then, of course, there's like other things, but if I went over everything, then this section would be way too long. I just kind of wanted to talk about these two. There's also an 89 Ram Cummins. I use that truck to haul my Sierra home. I would show that, but that's in a completely different place right now. So anyways, now that I got these two out of the way, let's see all this stuff I wasted my money on within the last year. Is it gonna start? Booga booga. Shout out to whoever didn't put the battery hold down in all the way. Made my job a lot easier. Ugh. Who thought side posts were a good thing? Wink. That's what you love to see right there. Joke's on you. I don't care about this battery. Okay, maybe I shouldn't even bother. All right, I was going to try to pull it outside, but I give up. So here's the 97 Tahoe. Now, this actually isn't mine, but it is going to be mine to work on. It's really clean, actually. There's pretty much no rust on it. There is just one major issue, and it's the fact that the entire front is smashed on it. From what I could find, someone was driving this for a little bit, and I think they just rear-ended someone, and then this just sat for like 2 years. I was hoping to have this done a long time ago, but I just haven't had time to work on it, so it's just been kind of sitting. I've been hinting at this for a little bit, because I was kind of hoping that I'd be working on it, and then I never did. Should be a pretty cool project, though. I still kind of got to go shopping around for parts, but it did come with some parts. I got a hood, a fender, a core support, and a front end. Although this front end is cracked, so I just picked this up. I'm going to try to retrofit the older design onto it. I feel like that could be cool, because I don't think they even made the Tahoe with this front end. So yeah, and this is kind of at the top of my list. There is one project I have that's above this one, and that's really only just because it's kind of my daily driver right now. I'll get to that in a little bit. But yeah, hopefully should be working on that pretty soon. So this, I believe, is a 67 Massey Ferguson 10 horse. I think it was listed for $100 on Facebook Marketplace, and the guy brought it down to like 75. I ended up paying 80 for it. It came with its original motor. However, some with the spark system quit working, and he was in the process of swapping this little 7-horse Briggs into it. But he was in the process of moving and figured he would just sell this. What I would like to do to it is just keep that engine for a different project and then just revive the original engine. And I really do like the exhaust stack. I kind of wish my other Massey had that. But this one's in pretty decent condition. The nose cone's broken, but it seems like they always are on these. This one actually has some kind of 3-point hitch, which my Massey doesn't, so I will probably have a use for this. I mean, even if I don't, I kind of want to start a collection of these, so here's one more for the collection, I guess. This right here is an 85, I believe, Honda Era 125. These actually aren't very common at all, especially in the US. I think these were only sold for 1 year, and then they were kind of outlawed because they didn't abide by some kind of regulation standard. It's a 2-stroke. I got this. I don't remember how much I paid for this, but it was pretty cheap. And it came with a title, so I could actually get this registered if I wanted to. I haven't really worked on this one. I did throw a jump pack on it, and I did get it to crank, but I couldn't really get it to fire because the intake is somewhere hidden down in here. I don't know how long it's sitting. I'm guessing since around 2014, just based off of the registration records. It's currently sitting at 2541 for the mileage, which, funny enough, that's almost exactly the mileage of my Roketa. But the Roketa is also a lot newer. So I might keep this one around. So I do want to get this one running, ride it around a little bit. But after that, I'm not sure if I'll keep it or not. I might keep it just because it is pretty cool, but I could also probably get decent money out of it if I did want to sell it. But I do know someone personally who could kind of want this, so I don't know, maybe that's what I'll do with it. But this should be kind of a fun project. Now that I've gotten all the two-wheeled vehicles out of the way, I do want to mention I do kind of want like a project motorcycle. But I've kind of stopped buying projects until I get the stuff I already own done. Like I'm not letting myself buy anything. My only exception is like if it's a Massey that's very local for very cheap, I'll buy it just for the collection. But I'm not really buying anything anymore. But once I get through some of my projects and, you know, I get this done, I do want to get some kind of like 80s Honda motorcycle up. I actually did try to buy one not too long ago. And the guy on Marketplace was like, yeah, I have it. And I told him like, oh, I'll pick it up whenever you're fine with me coming over. And he never responded. But it also needed like $800 worth of parts. So I might have dodged a bullet there. So this right here is a 1969 Massey Ferguson 12. I got it for like 120 or maybe 130 bucks on an estate auction. Definitely in very rough condition. The steering wheel is like warped from being out in the sun for 20 years. And it's also a hydrostatic, this is the first hydrostatic Massey I've ever owned. And it probably will be a pain in the ass to work on because I can't imagine how screwed up that is now after sitting for so long. But I was thinking this could be a fun restoration project. In worst case scenario, it came with wheel weights, and I really wanted a set of those for my main Massey that actually runs. And just to get a set of those probably would have been like $200 or $300 on Facebook Marketplace. So even if I don't really do anything with this tractor, I still got something pretty good out of it. It's actually sitting outside because when I tried to unload it, they loaded this onto my trailer with a pallet, but when I was unloading it, I didn't have access to a forklift or anything, so I had to drag it off. And in the process, the deck kind of folded in half because it was rusted out so bad. Like, it is completely mangled. And because of that, I couldn't really find an easy way to drag it into the barn because anytime you try to drag it, it would actually just tilt because it would just dig into the ground. So I've just left it outside. And on top of that, this barn I have pretty full right now. This probably will get its own video at some point. It would probably be quite a while before I get to it, though. All right, and now probably the coolest thing I've bought since the last video. This is an 87 Dodge Daytona. I got this for like $430 on the same estate auction I got that Massey on. This is the first barn find I've bought. This sat outside since like 2006, I'd say. Not in the best condition. The floor's also kind of gone in it. But $430. It is the base model, sadly. You don't get any of the fancy talking car features or anything like that. But it does come with the 5-speed, which I'm hoping is good. It did roll backwards off the trailer in first gear, but I'll worry about that another time. It's actually really clean in here besides the fact that it smells like mouse. It's also got a really weird theme going on with it. Now, I actually did make a community post about this car, but I wasn't really expecting anyone to see it because there's not really a point. That didn't even unlatch. There's not really a point in putting stuff in the community section if you only got 14. Oh, that was the trunk. Yeah, that would make sense. There we go. But this thing is going to be pretty cool. It does sadly have the base engine. It's got the naturally aspirated 2.5. I really wish this had the 2.2 turbo in it, but it doesn't. However, I think they did put these engines in the Plymouth, whatever the heck they're called. Those had the 2.5, but they also had a turbo. So if I wanted to, I probably could find a turbo kit to put on this, but we'll see. It is missing the AC, and it looks like it's a little overdue for a valve cover gasket. But this thing is pretty cool, and I'm really excited to get going on it. The nose cone isn't even cracked or anything, which is like insane. I could probably sell that for like $400 and basically make a profit. off of this car without doing anything to it, but I don't really want to do that. I haven't really worked on it since I got it. I did throw a battery charger on it, and it does crank over, and it sounds pretty decent, but it does need a new battery, and I'm just going to wait until I actually, start working on this to buy a battery. When I was talking about this truck and I said that I bought a project that I'd probably work on it before, I was talking about this. Now, they are both two non-running project vehicles, but this one I don't have to reassemble half of the engine. Theoretically, it should start up and drive and carry me off into the sunset. It probably won't be that easy, but it would be nice if it was. It does need new tires all around because they're all shredded. And the fun part is that they're all currently holding air, which is terrifying. They're going to blow up on me any second. Got it. Whoops. Okay, I don't think that actually unlatched, so I'm just going to leave that and hope it doesn't pop open in the middle of a snowstorm. But yeah, after the Tahoe, this will be my main project, assuming I got everything with my terrain done. If not, I guess after everything with the Tahoe and terrain is done, this will be my main project, and I'm super excited for it. Here's the Eagle Vision. So I think the last video on this channel was this car. And in that video and the second channel videos that I had little clips of this on, I did mention how this wasn't mine. Well, as of November, it is mine now. I bought it for $500, and I'm not gonna lie, I kind of like it. So the reason I said I haven't been driving the terrain very much is because I've been driving this, mainly because that thing is starting to get some rust issues, and I kind of wanted something to drive in the winter and not feel bad about not getting around to fixing that yet. And I've put a lot of work into this, but I'm not really going to be too specific because the next video I have on my main channel will probably be this car. All I'm going to say is I've put a lot of work into this car recently, and there's still a lot more work to get put into it. And this is currently taking up the top priority just because this is technically my temporary daily driver for now, so I want to get everything knocked out with this as I can. The main thing that's been stopping me from making videos recently is the fact that I'm currently dealing with not only college, but also a full-time job on top of that. And I was hoping I could maybe get a couple videos out. Just for the holidays, I've been off of school and work. And I did get a lot done with this, but I wouldn't even say I'm halfway done yet. So yeah, I guess we'll see. Now, once I have everything with my terrain done, I probably will still keep this thing. Personally, I can justify having multiple vehicles if they all kind of fit into their own class. Or, they have their own purpose, basically. First, you got the daily driver, which is kind of universal, can be anything. It's just the overall better vehicle. Then I have a spot for a pickup truck, and then a sports car, and then some kind of grandpa cruiser car, or some kind of classic car like that. This, funny enough, is currently in my sports car class. And believe it or not, this actually was considered a sports car when it was sold. It's just not really in its prime anymore. But with that said, I probably will keep this around until I get my Daytona on the road. And I was going to do something to its appearance, but you'll figure that out whenever I upload the video for this thing. All right, well, it's actually taken me so long to finish making this video that in the time since I started working on it, I've acquired something else. I don't really want to show too much of it because this is going to get its own video kind of soon, but it's going to be a fun one. Also, I got another garden tractor, but it's so insignificant. It will just be in the video of that. Hey, you survived all the boring nonsense. You made it. You're at the end of the video. So I'm not going to go on a 13-minute ramble like I did in last year's video, but I did want to mention I do have a couple YouTube channels. Although this one and my second one are the only two I really upload to consistently. And by consistently, I mean every now and then stop for like a whole year. My second channel is basically all the miscellaneous stuff. A lot of the videos I have lined up are all electronics related, but I have this whole series called Mini Projects, which is basically just a bunch of stuff that would fit onto my main channel, but the videos are just too short to justify having their own videos. At the end of every video, I put a card on the screen which just goes to a playlist I made with every video in it from all my channels. Even the really bad Roblox videos I made when I was 9. I know that's the real content you guys want. But yeah, that's about it. I guess I should go work on some stuff. I'm spending more time buying stuff than I am fixing stuff.